The SEC ultimately ends up killing themselves, as some would say, as everybody just defeats everybody in a bloodbath of the SEC. This is the problem with the SEC this year. It is like the Big 12 and the fact that it's way better than the Big 12 talent wise, but the teams are so narrow. The top like 8 teams, same thing as the Big 12. They're all very close that any of them can beat any of them on any given day. And we see college football hopeful teams in Alabama, in Texas A&M, and in Ole Miss all go down and lose this Saturday to pretty much make it very hard for anyone in that committee to justify having them be into the college football playoff tournament when there is a decent amount of teams with 1 losses and 2 losses that are going to be ahead of them. I'll talk about how maybe one of them can get in, because I think there is a place where one of them can get in, and we'll talk about that. But I want to talk about the games real fast. Ole Miss losing to Florida. I think Florida's playing their best football they played this season. And I remember, like, if you go back and watch my videos way in the past when I used to have this background, I said if Florida gets 6 wins, this team is really good. And they're exceeding expectations by a lot if they win 6 games. This team's 6-5 and is going to be 7-5 on the year. This is a really good football team. And they take down a good team in Ole Miss that is just at the end of the day too inconsistent. And it tells me that no matter what, they aren't going to win the college football playoffs because they are too inconsistent. And you could say that even more about Alabama. Alabama's way too inconsistent. They have people on this team, on this defense for the Alabama Crimson Tide that are just not good enough to win a national championship. It's just not. I don't know what the hell happened at Milrow. This man disappears in games. The offense disappeared. You could say Oklahoma has a decent defense, but Oklahoma was terrible this year. Terrible. An awful season. And I'm a big fan of Brent Venables and what he could do on the defensive side of the ball, and he cooked up in this game. Cooked up. Cooked up. Magic. They went down. Dude, that's a bad loss. Vanderbilt and Oklahoma is a bad loss, especially this year with the Oklahoma loss for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And we now turn to Texas A&M losing to Auburn. I know they were on the outside looking in, but the guy dropped the ball. He should have won that game. They should have caught that. We should be going into more OTs between those two teams, but ultimately he drops the ball, and they lose this game. Man. And now it pretty much takes out the importance of a Texas A&M game that was going to be very important. Now is not as much important as Texas just needs to win to walk into the SEC championship in what is a rematch between them and Georgia. Probably will be that. If Texas A&M somehow wins that game, it even devalues them the SEC championship. It's a mess. It is a mess for the SEC because now Georgia's in. Well, Texas is in, Georgia's in, and Tennessee will be in this week's college football playoff ranking. Those 3 teams will be in it. Can Alabama get in there for the 12th seed? I mean, the 11th seed, I'm sorry. I think there is a chance because right now, if you look at it, the 11th seed would probably be a Clemson Tigers at this moment. And there is a way you could justify Bama being better than the Clemson Tigers. And that way is Georgia blew the doors off Clemson. And Bama has that win over Georgia. So that's a way right there where you could justify they are better than that team. And if they lose to South Carolina this week, if they lose to South Carolina, right there, bam, that's another justification right there of why Bama should be in over the Clemson Tigers. I think SMU is in. Although SMU has to probably lose in the ACC championship game. That's low-key another excuse of how you can get a 3-loss SEC team in over them. And if that happens, I think we see pandemonium. Like, there's going to be half of the college football community that is very happy about this. They want to see the best games. They want to see the best teams. And there's going to be another half that is very mad about this and SEC biased. And the teams with the best records should be in. You shouldn't be out if you have 1 loss or 2 losses, right? That's not a rule. It was never a rule that you can't be in because you have 3 losses. Where does that say that anywhere? If Bama is somehow still the 11th seed Tuesday, tomorrow, or 2 days from now, tomorrow if you're watching this tomorrow, that made no sense. But if Bama's somehow still the 11th seed ahead of Clemson, like, they're going to get in. So, because Clemson might lose and SMU is going to lose. So, ultimately, I think Ole Miss is done. Texas A&M is definitely done. This is great for Georgia. It's great for Tennessee. How do we not have a college football playoff without the Alabama Crimson Tide? Ultimately, my name is Joshua. So if you liked the video, please hit the subscribe button. It should be an icon somewhere on the screen right now at this moment. Watch these videos that YouTube recommends to you guys. Should have videos every single night tonight. Every single day, new videos will be on this channel this week. Maybe not Thanksgiving, but this week, new videos. Way more. I'll be recording way more than I usually do. And then I have 2 weeks left of school, and then videos almost every day after that. So this is the takeoff point. This is right now, we're trying to take off on this channel. My name is Josh Wilson. Thank you.